The founder said our rights come from the Creator. It is He who has endowed us with our rights. Therefore, they stand secure. But what if there were no Creator? What then? Some in our society seem to think that the Creator has somehow been disproved by science, that evolution is a proven fact, that the Scopes monkey trial 100 years ago helped settle the matter. Case closed. But is that really the case? Many years ago, the founder of this ministry, Dr. D. James Kennedy, hosted a special documentary from the Ray County Courthouse in Dayton, Tennessee, the very place of the Scopes trial. Here's a short video from that special called The Case for Creation. It tells the real story of the famous monkey trial.
The classroom in the courtroom, that's what the Scopes trial was all about. What was allowed to be taught in the public schools. This is where the public sat to watch the proceedings that day. 1,000 people jammed into this small courtroom. 200 news reporters covered the event. What was on trial that day was the constitutionality of a law passed that same year in 1925 in Tennessee, which forbade the teaching of evolution. In response to that law, ACLU lawyer Clarence Darrow said it was the height of bigotry to teach only one view of origins. You know, I agree with him. But today, it is the creationists who are being discriminated against, and now the bigotry is on the side of the evolutionists.
The Scopes trial began when the ACLU decided to challenge this law that prohibited the teaching of evolution in Tennessee public schools. Bud Shelton, who testified in the trial as a 17-year-old who was in Scopes' class, remembers how the trial came about.
And the American Civil Liberties Union offered to sponsor the defense of any man who was willing, or any teacher who was willing to defy or test that trial.
Some Dayton businessmen saw the ACLU's offer as a chance to put Dayton on the map. Dr. Cornelius, professor of Bryan College and authority on the Scopes trial, comments,
the Scopes trial was basically a publicity stunt to gain attention for the city of Dayton and for its economic and industrial interests. They couldn't get the regular science teacher to come forth and to be a guinea pig and make this a test case. And so they invited a new teacher who was really not a science teacher but a coach and a mathematics teacher to volunteer to be the guinea pig to test the case. And so John Thomas Scopes volunteered to do this, and the beginning of the trial was underway.
When the famous lawyers William Jennings Bryan and Clarence Darrow offered their services free of charge, the vision to put Dayton on the map was beginning to be fulfilled. When the trial itself took place from July 10th to the 21st, the city of Dayton took on a carnival atmosphere.
They erected hot dog stands and very other things to, to sell souvenirs and that sort of thing, and they thought, well, they were going to make it big, but that didn't materialize.
But despite the carnival atmosphere, Darrow used the trial not so much to promote academic freedom, but to belittle biblical fundamentalism as personified in William Jennings Bryan. Darrow's anti-religious sentiment was clear throughout the trial and was clearly seen a few years later when he returned to Dayton, saw a church being constructed, and quipped, "I guess I didn't do much good here after all." Popular histories of the Scopes trial have distorted the event, such as the film and play Inherit the Wind.
It may be a very arresting drama, but it's very inaccurate history. And in fact, the two authors of it, Lawrence and Lee, say in their preface that this is not the Scopes trial.
Distortions or not, overall, people remember the Scopes trial as promoting the idea that man came from the apes.
You've been watching a portion of a 1988 TV special by Dr. Kennedy called The Case for Creation. Clearly, the Scopes trial was essentially just a publicity stunt gone bad. When we traveled to Dayton, Tennessee, near Chattanooga, to make that program, one of the places that was very helpful to us was Bryan College of Dayton, Tennessee. We just heard some sound bites from Dr. Richard Cornelius, one of their professors, and he led us to Bud Shelton, the man in our documentary who had actually testified at the Scopes trial as a teenager. William Jennings Bryan seemed to be discredited by the legal shenanigans Clarence Darrow pulled on him at the trial, and Bryan died shortly thereafter. Nonetheless, Bryan was able, in his few remaining days, to help create a Bible-believing college that exists to this day, Bryan College in Dayton, Tennessee. No, contrary to any rumors, the Creator has not died, and the rights we enjoy because of Him are still in place. For Providence Forum, I'm Dr. Jerry Newcomb.